Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Before I start my presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Akmal Al-Hafiz bin Yahya, metric number 262852. So, I want to present about the intangible heritage from the UNESCO. So, I choose the intangible heritage is Silat. Silat is a combative art of self-defense and survival route in the Malay archipelago. Traced back to the early days of the Lanka Suka Kingdom, Silat has evolved into a fine practice of physical and spiritual training, also encompassing traditional Malay attire, Silat musical instruments, and customs. There are many styles of Silat, inspired by the movement of human anatomy, nature and animals. For example, Silat Harimau involves an aesthetic rhythm motion imitating the art of self-defense and attack of the tiger. In Malaysia alone, there are more than 150 known Silat styles whose name derive from the natural elements such as animals and plants. Originally, Malay Silat was practiced by warriors as noble and forces of justice, but nowadays, practitioners consist of masters, gurus, teachers, and students who are responsible for maintaining the practice. The training sessions usually take place in the evening or at night in an open space such as a courtyard led by the master and jurukaka. A large number of practitioners have been trained and nurtured, and an increasing number of training centers have been established in various regions. With the accelerated dissemination, the practice has increasingly transcended its status as a martial art to become a performing art. Consequently, it is now a popular sport for health and leisure. So I will continue about the domain of Silat, which is performing arts. Silat practice in Malaysia are diverse, with vast differences in training tools, methods, and philosophy across different schools and styles. The variety of styles not only demonstrated many different combat skills, but also the ability of the martial art itself in manifesting different personage and community in warrior traditions. Some forms of Silat also exist, especially in the very remote villages, with members consisting of a few students. The modern law and regulations require that the Silat bodies need to be registered as an association or club. Therefore, we find that those Silat forms with very few members are those which are being practiced in a secretive way in remote areas and are taught only by invitation of the master. Based on the data from 1975, there were 265 styles of Silat in Malaysia, which is then grouped into 464 different Silat associations throughout the country. Today, there are 548 associations or communities which actively practicing Silat in Malaysia. Out of these, 4 associations are the most prominent and became the founding member of Majlis Silat Negara, or as known as National Silat Council in 1978, and later renamed Persekutuan Silat Kebangsaan Malaysia or Persaka, the National Silat Federation of Malaysia. Next, I will continue about the concept connected to the Silat. First is the martial art. Silat is the traditional martial art of the Nusantara region, also known as the Malay archipelago, and has been passed down from master to student for many generations. It encompasses the vast knowledge of strategy and tactical human combat, weaponry, and philosophy, integrating soft aesthetic movement called bunga, blossoms, with self-defense techniques that are both hard and deadly called buah, fruits. Silat transcends the physical defense aspect to encompass the spiritual, medicinal, and religious practices of the Melayu. Silat has threaded through a long and glorious history. The annals of Malaysia have proven that before the advent of guns and cannons, the ancient kingdom of the archipelago were well defended against incursion from foreign empires, especially the Europeans and East Asians. In the Malacca Sultanate, the legendary exploits of Hang Tuah have been forever inscribed in the hearts of Melayu everywhere. Among the hallmarks of Silat is the keris, a wavy dagger made of nickel and iron sheathed in wood. It was the weapon of choice of kings, warriors, and later became a large part of the Malay identity. Second concept connected to the Silat is sports. Silat is one of the sports included in the Southeast Asian Games, SEA Games, and another region-wide competition. Silat first made its debut in 1987 Southeast Asian Games and 2018 Asian Games, both of which were held in Indonesia. Training halls and overseen by separate national organizations in each of the main countries the art is practiced. These organizations are the Pencak Silat Association of Indonesia, of Ikatan Pencak Silat Indonesia, IPSI in Indonesia, Persekutuan Silat Kebangsaan Malaysia, Pesaka in Malaysia, Persekutuan Silat Brunei Darussalam, Persib in Brunei, and Persekutuan Silat Singapura, Persisi in Singapore. Practitioners are called pesilat. Lastly, my opinion regarding about the safeguarding of the intangible heritage is important. While fragile, intangible cultural heritage is an important factor in maintaining cultural diversity in the face of growing globalization. An understanding of the intangible cultural heritage of different communities helps with intercultural dialogue and encourage mutual respect for other ways of life. The importance of intangible cultural heritage is not the cultural manifestation itself, but rather the wealth of the knowledge and skills that is transmitted through it from one generation to the next generation.